word here? Okay, because I need to understand it and I need your help. So, and I understand it, but you're gonna have to help. I'm gonna have to help get you there.
Okay.
So I also would love to see if you'd be open to talking, especially, yeah, both of you, with the stake president. Um,
Sure.
yeah, I've already asked him if he would talk to you, either of you, and that was like, when did I talk to you, Kim? Like a month ago.
Yeah, probably 2 weeks ago, maybe a month.
Because I saw him, my first visit with him, I believe, was in my first time back at church was November 13th. And then 27th was when I met with the stake president. I've been really scared. I'm very scared to be back at the church. And it's its own story in itself, but I've been pulled, like I told you, very, very strongly. And that's been a very interesting part of the story of how that's evolved. I never thought. I understand, like, something that happened back in May, and then in August, actually then in June, some things that happened in this little energetic world I live in, and then it transpired into proving itself in physical form, if that makes sense. I believe in a law of attraction, so I'm very big into frequencies and staying on that. I think you and I talked about this, the higher level, Kim, when I first moved in, a higher level
Hey,
living.
Brooke, you're cutting out.
So have you been able to hear anything?
Oh, yeah, just barely. Yeah,
Did you?
just
Okay.
yeah, restarting it. Okay.
So remember when you talked about it at your house when I first moved in, that higher level, and then I told you about
Right.
what I believe in, what I've experienced, about how it kind of manifests into reality as well. It's very cool. However, it's been an interesting journey. So it has a lot to do with my kids and Jason. There's so much to it. Okay. What I really need to talk to you about, and just know I'm in a good space. I want you guys to know that, um, like I'm proud of my job. I'm going to counseling, have been for years. I've shared these things, but nobody kind of understands it. And
Do you have a good counselor? I mean, that's so hard to find somebody that you really
I
connect
do.
with.
I love her very much, but she doesn't get the whole spiritual side of her, or the energetics, both of that. She just wants me to say I'm psychic, and I don't really think I'm psychic, but I do see. I have these deja vu experiences and have for many years, and but I pre-see them like the day before or a couple days before, and then it literally does happen. It happened with my daughters a lot before I left, and I tried to get Jason to, that was a big problem of why I couldn't explain what was going on, because something was definitely going on, where I was experiencing a very, very intense rate for about 3 weeks. Um, and it was very scary to me. Um,
Wow.
yeah, and yet I didn't understand it. I've had to understand it since then because it doesn't go away. It's just very, yeah, I have to not be afraid of it. It first started with a lot of spirits would come to me. This little, my sensitivities are very, very big. I've had to cut out, I have had to make sure I'm okay with the whole spirits thing. And I've always raised my hand to the square if I'm ever scared. But instead, I choose not to do any of that. I feel grandma and I feel dad a lot, but and my other grandpa sometimes, but I choose not to do that. And instead, though, sometimes there's a weird white haze that comes around. It happened with my client Roberta at her work about 3 weeks ago, and she's Down syndrome, and she's 48. Worked at the rec center for about 20 years. Anyway, there's spirits that come and talk to her a lot. I can tell because she kind of argues with them a little bit. She doesn't talk a lot, but and then the job coach before me said, yeah, sometimes I've seen her do that, and I believe it's someone's talking with her. And that's happened several times when I worked with her. I see her twice a week. So, but a couple weeks ago, we were just standing. I was like, okay, Roberta, what's the next thing to do on your list? And she looks to the side of me. Well, she actually shrugs, and then something caught her attention next to me, and she looked over, and then she shook her head, and then she looked back at me, and then she looked over again. And I just know what that looks like for her. But then I felt somebody next to me as well. And that's the first time that's happened with her. And then I looked over and I saw the white haze. And I just knew who this was, a woman, long hair. I could just tell. And so I asked my client, Roberta, questions. Is this a man or a woman? And she said, woman. And she barely talks, but she talks a lot more now with me. But then I just asked her a couple questions to clarify what color hair, because I knew, I could just sense it. And I had this person come before, but not knowing who it was. And anyways, I said, does she have a name? And she said, Sally. And I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. And I don't know if you guys remember my childhood imaginary friend, Sally Warner. But she's,
yeah.
yeah. So there's been several times she's come in different forms for me, I guess. Like she's been little before, she's been bigger. Anyways, and that's just been something that's come every once in a while, pretty much when I need it the most, actually. So I just want you to know, and that's just a little, you know, part of the story. It was very beautiful, though. I mean, it was great. And I asked her mom about it, and she's like, no, I've never seen her have talk to spirits. And I'm like, what? I mean, and I was kind of shaken because it was meaningful to me, because I needed that at the time. I just needed that. I was asking for a sign, and that came. And but anyways, and that was after I went to, yeah, I'd already been to church 3 times. Second time I went to church, I was like, I had an anxiety attack, and I went into the gym because of everything. But I still went back, and I still went back because I wanted to see Christ on the sacrament table. That's where my relationship with him was at. So anyways, with that being said, and it's just a lot. That's one side of the story. The other side of the story is scarier.
Brooke?
Yeah, I'm having a hard time.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure
Yeah.
I wasn't losing you.
Okay, give me a second. I'm kind of panicking. um I'm just gonna say this. and I think I told you a little bit about this before, Kim, but and I just want you to say okay. But I do believe that Agent J is in my life, and it's very scary. And I have believed it for a long time with other things that have happened, um, because of different phone calls and different people, the way people, not all the time, but people have been, like, I've known there's been undercovers that are just obvious around me sometimes. Um, and that was over a year ago. um, and I can put a timeline in there for you. However, the most recent stuff is what's really scaring me. And so I was willing for it to just be a delusion in my head, up until even I got an extra $1,000 on my tax return. When I hit send, it like jumped up $1,000, and even, and I'd already believed because of especially these people's houses that Drew and I went to once. Anyways, we can go there, but and then there was this phone call with oh my gosh, so there's been so much. However, okay, I had already told Jason what I told him last year, and then I got really scared because I didn't understand what was going on, because it was just so confusing, because it was really, I couldn't really prove it unless I actually got Agent J involved so he could look at the security cameras on a couple places that I was at. But let me take a drink. Hold on. Oh, this is really terrifying saying, but it's not the first time I've said it out loud, and I need to be able to. I am putting it together, and that's just a thing. And you guys are just the next step, and so, oh, but it's scary.
So you've been able to be open and honest with all of everything with your state president, like this.
Yes, yes, he 100% knows.
Then how did you get to the point where you were visiting with the state president? Did you talk to a bishop first?
No, I didn't. So I had been to sacrament 3 times. First one, and I wanted to go for Christmas too. I wanted to sing the songs and feel that's, because I love to sing. And so that was my main reason for going. For going. Talking to him about any of this was not the plan. I didn't know what to do. I was very scared, and the only place I felt safe was, it felt like going to church, although it was scary being there. And I still drink and I still smoke marijuana, so I'm not, and the state president knows that as well. One time I had to leave the third time I didn't know what to do, but so I left and I got like a little seltzer, which was like a cooler or something. I came back and I drank it. And then I was like, I'm just going to keep trusting this. I'm just going to keep trusting this. And it does feel better because it helps me not be so afraid.
Right.
So, and I feel Christ very strongly. I refer to him as Yeshua, like I told you. And I love my beloved, that laminated part that you have. Like, I would love to read that again, because that's always impacted me. And so I love his relationship with Mary Magdalene. So he's a very different, I like that ascended master. And that's been the way I've been able to recreate my relationship with him. And I like it. It's been beautiful, actually. So anyways, I okay, so I talked to him first on, oh, anyway, so how I got to talk to him was I still came back. I just went, okay, I'm just gonna trust and I'll go in and I'll just go sit on the couch and then just kind of see, do I talk to a bishop? Do I try and get, because I didn't have any, I told you I barely had any heat. I might need some help with my trailer to try kind of get it ready for the winter. I do need a little bit of more support. And that's what I wanted to talk to the bishop about as well. I just, telling him, actually, no, that's what it was. So I didn't know what to do, but I came back and was just so filled with anxiety. But I sat on the couch and him and his secretary had walked by and they were looking in the doors and they were going to go in, but he looked back at me and um, I wasn't looking, but he came over and introduced himself. And so, and I immediately said, can I talk to you? Can I make an appointment? I mean, not immediately, but we introduced ourselves and, but I said, I think I should talk to you. Can I have an appointment? And, anyways, he got me, we went in, I went on and back in on at 4:30, that probably just 4 hours later, 4 or 5 hours later, but um, I didn't know what I was going to say. And I went in not knowing what to say. And I told him, yeah, I told him that. And I told him, I'm going to be very different for you. I'm going to be very
So
different.
you gave,
Yeah.
so you gave him your, a little bit of your
Oh
history.
yeah, yeah. He knows about alcohol. He knows about the divorce. He knows about everything. One time, I've met with him 4 times. I was really scared the third time, and I kind of came over in a panic because of some really weird things. And so, and he smelled. I'd had a couple alcohol spritzers. I don't drink hard liquor or anything like that. I used to, but yeah, because dealing with some of this stuff, weird stuff, and that's not the only reason, but it's been rough. Anyways, whew, sorry, I'm just shaking. So, and I said, yeah, well, because I said, I'm sorry. And I was in a panic. I'm like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here saying the words I'm saying, because I'd already told him about the Agent J thing. And I'm like, I don't want this. This is not somebody who I want to be, nor do I want to think it. So please, no, I just don't want to do this. I don't want to be here being pulled back in for some odd like it feels so scary because the things that happen, like I said, in the world, like men, like once I let Christ in, men flock to me. It's so weird and I hate it. Men have always hit on me because, of how I've looked, and I've had to shut that down because I'm not like that. I'm super monogamous. I don't cheat, never have. So, but, nor do I look for that, nor do I seek that out. That's what I'm saying. So, because I just want to be me. Can I just be me and not let people hit on me? That's all I want. So anyway, so um, yeah, just a neighbor had come over and it had just been so weird and in a really weird timing of how I was feeling energetically. Um, and I'd been meditating, I'd been writing on things I wanted to talk to him about. Um, yeah, anyways, I went over that time and anyways, I would really love for you guys to talk to him. Super honest with him, but yeah, he's great. So I told him about the Geico being paid off, because I told you about the Geico being paid off, right?
I don't think so. I'm not sure.
Okay, so after I've already felt that this is going on and it gets more intense with these people, um, I went to pay my Geico. This was after the $1,000, and I've had a lot of weird phone calls that don't make sense, and the things I've had to do with the government, like they wanted me to pay back my unemployment because they didn't have my license on my third round. It was so weird. So I was just trying to make sense of all that as well, put it together. And so and just letting it be my own delusion, I was willing to. I was willing to. I was willing to just think that it was something I did to make myself feel safe. And so I'm not alone. So this wasn't something, that's not something I want to own. Well, so, but when I went to pay my Geico bill in July, it said, the automated system said, no payment due, your balance is paid in full, or your policy is paid in full. And so I'm like, well, that's weird. So I call back and I talk to a human and say, okay, well, tell me what's going on with my account. Your policy is paid in full till September. And I said, okay, well, based on what, like what my last payment, did someone pay my account for me? And what was the last card used? I had broken up with my boyfriend at the time. I thought maybe he had done it because he's a giver and he likes, and that's something he would do. So I'm like, what card was used? And it was my card for the $67. And I'm like, well, okay, well, that doesn't make any sense. That's when I was like, okay, someone's messing with me then. Someone's either messing with me or I can, like, literally, I've had agents in my life. So who else is going to pay off a Geico account? Oh, and then, the COVID card. Remember the COVID card? That's a big one too. There was a lady named that was going to buy it from me, Diane Countryman. And it all started right after I chose not to give her the card because I didn't want to I commit the felony. I done that COVID card. It was a immunization card so people wouldn't lose their job. Karen and I were doing it, remember? And so it all started with, it actually started before her with an app that Melissa showed me. There's just so many weird things that, yeah. So anyways, on Christmas, before Christmas, I got a text from an app. It says, thank you for subscribing to universalquotes.et. You will receive randomized quotes on a randomized schedule. And I'm like, okay, well, I didn't subscribe to this. And whew, I'm shaking. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
I think we've had some like that before.
Yeah, for sure. And so it says, then it sends a message, a picture. It's, be mindful of your self-talk in a conversation with the universe. And I'm like, okay, well, fine. I'll take universe stuff. I don't really care. But I still didn't subscribe, which is fine. And then it says, thank you, Brooke, for being a member. Here's your daily quote, universe. And then it says, I need to actually probably send you a picture of this so you can see it. Then it says, it sends this in separate words. It says universe, universe, universal studios, universe, 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 universal, almighty. And I was like, and what's next? Because yeah, I get it. And it says universe, and then another block, karma. And I'm like, and come on, tell me. And then there's a picture of Spock, and it says the government watching me behind my phone screen. And I was like, yeah, I know. And then it sends a picture of Will Smith, Men in Black, and it says protecting the earth from the scum of the universe, and it says Agent J in the bottom corner. And I was like, okay, Agent J, talk to me. I'm like, I love Will, he's awesome, because I'm like scared, I don't know how to do this. And I'm like, you there? Would love to chat. And then I said, and again, please know I'm not thinking this is the universe. I'm like, thank you though, Mr. Universe, whoever you are. Actually, I know. Then it sends me a picture of a false vaccination card, how they're illegal, and here's how to report them. And I said, why did you send that to me, universe? Would love to hear. So you can help me, universe. I know you got my back. And it says, I don't. I said, why not? You're the universe. You've showed me many times I can trust you. How come you don't right now? And it said karma. I'm always watching. I'm like, okay, what do I need to clean up karma wise? Because let's do it. I want to say thank you though, because you've helped me, Agent J. Are you Jarrett? Which is Jarrett is a guy, like a coach type guy at Davis Behavioral, who I went to. He doesn't work there anymore, but there was something super weird going on. Went, and it, anyways. Okay. Whew. And I'm like, you got me right. You got me right, universe. And it says, I'm always watching. Oh, and I said, yeah, I know.
And all this,
yeah,
all this came
on Christmas. Yeah, on Christmas Day.
Wow.
And it said, I've experienced and felt you many times. I want to make things right. Or is this all on me? And it says to me, tell me what you think needs to be made right and tell me how you plan on being done soon. And I'm like, just tell me. So then I'm just so done with it. Like I'm scared, have been for a while. And then it says, tell me what you think needs to be done, made right, and you tell me how you plan on being done soon. And I said, just tell me what you see in me. He said, I need you to know how you see yourself. I said, I'm really different, super different, and I can't do it anymore. And it said, can't do what anymore? Share this with the universe. I'm like, I need you to see me, can you? And he said, it said, can you see yourself? And I said, probably not, LOL. And it said, what can you not do anymore? I'm like, everything. So tell me, universe, like, what's the next step? And it says, what do you want to take a step forward? And I said, my kids, with a couple hearts. And it said, when you focus on that goal, it is a good outcome for you. Is it a good outcome for your kids, or is it to make yourself feel better? And I said, wow, good question. Both. We all need to heal. And it said, what do you bring to their lives? And I said, nothing. Actually, I have nothing. And it said, sometimes one's remedy for healing is not found within others, but within oneself. I'm like, okay. Then it says, wow, your kids seem to be healing on their own just fine. Their family is finally whole. And I'm like, because, Tiffany's moved in there. They're all together. Wow. Why would I say this to me? Why would I say this to me? So I this is what I believe, and it's going to be a really hard one not to believe it anymore. I was done. Like, this was going to be the story for a while anyway, because it just doesn't make sense. Like, I need to get I need to figure out how to get in hold of him. So I need to talk to Becca. So I mean, that's pretty scary. Pretty scared about it. And I know you don't believe me, and that's okay. You don't have to. I understand how it doesn't make sense, but yet it kind of really, I can make logical sense of it. So
that
there's also more.
Oh, okay.
There's also more. Okay. This is a rough one too.
So did you ever meet him when Becca was doing?
No, but he was going to. We had scheduled a time. Becca had said, AJ wants to meet you, or Jay wants to meet you. And I'm gonna go talk to him. And then I, and I'll go talk to him and tell him you're okay with it. And that was the day that she came back crying because they confiscated her IDs, government IDs that she made from the Air Force Base and printing. And so I never got to meet him.
Okay.
But the weird thing is, I mean, Ellen, you were there. I mean, when I came up, when I was scared that I thought Becca was messing with me, I've been messed with. Like I would find needles in my car and I would had just like syringes and I just vacuumed. Like people they were planting things in my car. I thought it was Becca and goons. I thought it was like her people doing stuff because she said she had a lot of people, who would go and do her dirty work. I don't know. I didn't know. I mean, I was terrified. And that was back in a year ago in December, I think, or November, around there. And I told Biz everything. Someone's messing with me. This is what's going on. There was something with the app, and yeah, Fatani, seeing someone who looked like Fatani. Somebody was messing with me with this. So it was a ghost app that Melissa showed me, and she's very much into that. But it was right after I was right before I was going to go to Arizona, and it was when I got the trailer. That's when it was, and that night she had showed me this ghost app, and she just wanted to show me how it works. Especially, I don't. It was some weird. It showed you just words, and it's very it definitely is real. And it was we decided to do it the one night that night, and it said your name, it said Kim, it said Becca. It shows words or it shows names, and like there was parts of it that were for a little bit it was very spot on, and it wasn't scary, but she tended to make into a scary thing. And that's the first time she'd ever showed me. And then the next night we did it again, but it started acting different. I'm like, I think it's saying something different to me. I don't think you think it means, it doesn't mean that, And then it did a couple things that night. It said Karen, and then right as it said Karen, she texted me. And so it did. And so that's when I was like, what's going on? This is very weird. And I'd already felt like somebody was doing something because of the way people were in the store. Huh. Forgot about that. Anyways, this app did some really weird things. Like where it could only see what was happening right then. I was scared of this app, but there were some things that really helped me. I would only align it. I'd put my hand to the square and it'd be like, and I would feel grandma and I'd feel my dad. And so I'm like, okay, if this is really gonna be at that beautiful level. And it wasn't necessarily, and if it would say something, I would kind of get my own feelings. And then if it scared me, I'm like, no, we're not gonna do that. It's very weird. And I know that doesn't that probably rubs you guys the wrong way a lot, and I get it. and I didn't necessarily, actually, it helped me at times not feel alone, actually. So, because I didn't go with Melissa because she went crazy. And so I was going to go with her to a family reunion, but she just went, and she's too woo woo for me. I don't do all the, I mean, she's different like me and sensitive, but she goes to the witchier and the negative hurt spirit side to things. And that's not who I am. That's not where I dwell. So only good stuff, good trajectory. So, and I, yeah, like I'm pretty proud of who I am right now as far as like how I do my job and how I do life, as far as how I put people, like I try and treat people well and better myself and do better, think better and smarter and more logical and not so emotional. And so I just, I don't want to be this person who thinks this. I really don't. But oh, I just am so over it because it's not fun. So I need to still talk to you about the scary stuff. How you guys doing?
No, we're fine. We're
Are
fine.
you?
Yeah, listening.
Thank you. Okay.
I have a question though. So when you were with Karen, experience like any, or did she experience the Agent J or any of the? Did she?
No,
No.
no, but they're um back in, like I told her back in, I think December or right after um yeah, a year ago, that I thought, like, because some things didn't make sense that was going on, and so I didn't know who I still don't. It's hard to trust. It's hard to trust sometimes, but I told her, yeah, and I thought you were an undercover agent, and she's like, what? And I'm like, I know. So, but Karen and I had a different, relationship, because I was like, we were doing the marketing. The healing center was a big, big thing for me to do for myself, but it just didn't work out with her the way it should have. So her focus became on the Concho place and getting it all military ready, with the sniper guy who they brought on board. Like it got full. It got pretty crazy. But no, she didn't. Okay. Um, so I was getting ready to move out, and I didn't know where I was going to go. I had something lined up, but then it fell through. This is back in October. And I found a house. I wanted to find, I found a house, and I looked at it. It was in Layton, over here in Layton. And I,
I just want to clarify. You're talking about moving out of Karen's?
Yep, when I was moving out of Karen's. Thank you.
Oh,
Yep. Um, I went to look at a house. He wasn't in the area, so he just let me. I did it over an app. I got a code. I went in. I walked through this house. Um, Wanted to do it, but needed to figure out if the other person was going to be able to come with me or not. And so, and it fell through. So I was like, I'm so sorry. I can't do this. You're going to have to just move on. He's like, I really want you to have this house. Um, let me give you a job. We post things on, and I told him for a couple of weeks, they're going to have to move on. It's okay. Just go. But then, I still talk to this man because he offered me this job, and then I would post some things for him, but then um everything started to get shut down, like my Facebook account. And then every time I would open a rental account, it would be blocked for security reasons. Like it would get shut down. Um, and I was very scared of this guy because I had already, I mean, and I'm telling you bigger things that have happened, but there's more to it, that where I know that these things might sound coincidental, but there's lots of in-betweens in between there that just kept it going to where somebody's messing with me. And actually, no, it has to be what I believe, because there's just more. um
and you think that who's messing with you is Agent J?
I have to. It's the only thing that logically makes sense. And believe me, if it was just a hacker or somebody, okay, but it's it has to be. And I don't necessarily think they're messing with me, because I believe they're helping me. And that's what's scary. That's what's the scariest. That, I mean, I don't know which is either scary, but that one's scary.
And helping you with what?
That I feel like they're backwardsing me. If that's so, you don't know a lot of, there's reasons behind it why I believe that. And um it's from videos and of me making how I was organizing myself. This is really hard to explain. I told Becca all about it. I told her all about everything, how I have little processes that I've done to help me get in better alignment with myself, because I feel like I'm backwards. I always have. I don't know if it's because I'm ambidextrous. I don't know. I hear maybe because my brain injury when I was a baby, that I probably wasn't treated for shaken baby syndrome like I should have been. So, you know, I've always felt backwards, and maybe it's dyslexia, but there's just more. But and I just wanted to be a better person, and so it just was helping me to do these different processes, and like little stations. And Becca, she got mad at me when she first moved back to Ruby. She's like, why aren't you doing any of your processes anymore? I'm like, I can't do them here. Like, she got mad at me for not doing them. So they were really big to me and important. And I made sure when I was living with you guys at the house that because her and I are connected. I just really do love her, and I don't want to be afraid of her anymore. But I want to mend our relationship But yeah. Oh, so if Agent J had, I mean, Becca said he's going to look into my stuff. And there was tons of videos and things to Jason. I'm like, this is what's happening to me. This is what I'm experiencing. And this is how I'm trying to get out of it. So I can logically handle it and like physically handle it and not break down or, not feel overwhelmed by it. So let's get it all making sense in a way. I know that sounds weird. It's just the way it worked for me. And so for him to have access to all of those things and for her to tell me that she told him all about my stuff, all about, he'd ask her questions about what I was experiencing. I had very, very huge energetic and spiritual experiences at your house the little time I was there, especially when I first moved in. A lot of that haze.
Sometimes Becca embellishes things or does she kind of went through a phase. She's not like that anymore so much, but she really went through a phase where she would almost make up things or embellish things. So I want to make sure what she said to you really is true.
Well, sure. And it's not necessarily what she said to me that's important. It's what I said to her that is. Because she hasn't said anything that's besides her thinking I'm sleeping with or slept with Lachani. That's the only thing, like that's not true. But that's an embellish. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what else she's embellished about in regards to me, except for she said I was sleeping with everybody in the park.
When you're saying that she talked to Agent J and said different things that she would do or that he's done, she would just to make herself look important. She would be willing to say things that.
Yeah, but her and Jay wanted me to go and teach women. Like they wanted to set up classes for me so I could teach the stuff to women, and Agent Jay was going to do that for me. Like it was a good.
But Becca said that, or he said that.
Well, Becca did at the time, but at the time I believed her. I can tell when Becca's lying.
I can't.
No,
I mean, she's so good at it.
I mean, she is. She can be for sure, but it wasn't the space we were in at the time. She didn't go rogue until the campground, until she found out we were moving to the campground. Before then, she was doing really good. I mean, not really good. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. She's still doing stuff that she shouldn't have been doing, but she.
Yeah,
there was hope there. There really was, but
she was just in such a bad place.
I mean, she went crazy when she flipped a switch when that campground became a thing, and she's like, I have to get custody of my kids. I can't do this anymore. I have to prove I can't live in a campground. How am I gonna have my own house? How am I gonna, she really did. She flipped big time. And then that's when she went rogue she met Kevin and Dylan and started with doing things with them and working with Agent J. I mean, it's nuts. It's crazy.
Well, he washed his hands of her, and she actually was working with someone else. But yeah, I mean, he no longer protected her.
Yeah. Well, yeah, for sure.
So
that
he's been out of the picture for a long.
And I know that. Well, I know when he left because of. I mean, I don't know exactly when he left, but I'm assuming around the whole jail thing and with Dylan. I'm assuming sometime around after that, but And see, Kim, you said that you thought Dylan was an undercover. And so there's
No,
just
no. Oh no, I didn't think he was.
really,
If I mean, it had crossed my mind at some, I don't know, but no, I. Anyway, go ahead.
yeah, and
He was a
Becca
huge.
said it once, and so did Bishop, yeah. And so, and but that was way back when. That was a long time ago. That was what, a year and a half ago. But so believe me, I don't want to be taught. I don't want to be saying these words. So stupid. Oh, I'm just not willing to do. I mean, I'm not.
So, so in Becca's probation, where she's at right now, she has just been doing so. She's like she's dotted every thing. She has done everything precise, perfect. You know, she just had a baby a couple of days or a week ago, right?
Oh, did she?
Yeah, a little girl, and she was born five. Well, actually, let's see, how old is she now? She's great, 2 weeks now. But
I thought she wasn't due till like the 20 something.
right, she had her 5 weeks early.
Wow.
And so she's been in the NICU. She spent 10 days in the NICU,
Mm.
and she got out the day before we left, before we came here. So,
Oh, and so,
so bless her. She's kind of going crazy at the moment. She's got 4 kids. Little one that she like got a newborn baby that they have to be so careful with. I mean, they're making her stay right by the hospital. Well, they're not making her. They asked her if she would because she lives up in Manaway. And anyway, so she's living just a block from the hospital in Rodney's mom's house for a little bit.
okay.
But she's got all, plus little Zealand and Cooper and Gunner, and so she's and Gunner, the hospital himself. She's got a lot on her plate right now.
Oh, jeez.
But
Sounds like
she's
it.
about, yeah, they said in February that she'll finish everything and be done. So
Good.
it's a miracle, really,
That is a
for where,
miracle.
but
It's definitely a miracle.
yeah, she's doing really good though.
Good. I'm glad to hear.
And she and Rodney are doing very good.
That's what I heard. I ran into Briley at Walmart in a while ago, back in August. And then I heard it from somebody else too. Biz, I ran into her months before. But yeah, that's great. I think from somebody else I heard it too.
Yeah.
But I still talked to Kurt from the Ruby. He said he
Yeah.
was doing good.
Yeah. Anyway, they're pretty committed to each other, and so
Okay, so would it be okay if I could talk to Alan about this first?
yeah, I'm listening to the whole thing.
I know, but just you for a minute. Not even that it's about you, Kim. It's just I
Sure.
don't. Thank you.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I need my bearings for a sec. Again, I don't want to be saying these things, nor do I want to be experiencing any of it. This is really hard to say to you, and
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know what's to make it easier.
I know.
Better than rather than easier is where I go. So.
I know. Um, whew, whew. So, I'm so, uh, okay, give me a sec. It's not about you, it's about me. Okay. So just gonna come out and say it. And I already told the stake president this on my second visit,
Okay.
maybe first. Um, since I um oh my gosh, this is hard because there's so much to it too. I'm just saying. Okay, so I got a DUI back in August. No, September. Um, wasn't drinking and driving. I had had some wine, and I was meeting somebody. I was supposed to get an Uber actually, but I forgot about that. I didn't notice it until, uh, and I hadn't had any for a little bit, but
Okay.
anyways, so
You know what you tested at?
I do, but yeah, and all that stuff.
Okay.
And so when I noticed it, I pulled over off where I was going, and it was actually the exit I was getting off of. And anyways, yes, ended up getting that. So that was back in like I said, August. No, September. A couple other things happened. I can't remember now because that's not the point. But a couple other things happened after that and before that that made things very weird. And because I didn't end up going to jail, I didn't get booked in. They let me go actually. And
first offense, that's
apparently it's not. They're
zero
like,
stop.
it's not common at all. The person who picked me up was like, what, you just got a miracle there. It just never happens. And
Uh-huh.
and he found my vape pen, the marijuana vape pen, in my purse. They did, inside the jail. And he just like, he jokes around with me, whatever, and he dropped it back in. There was a couple other weird things that happened during that, but that's the biggest one. And then they said they didn't have any room, but it looked like they had room. One lady was like going crazy in there, and another was sleeping. So, but anyways, so I went to the court, and my court date, and I was like, I don't know what to do because I actually don't I don't know what to do. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why these things are going on. These things are happening. Really weird phone calls um, from like one with Venmo or Zelle that I had to. It was just so odd how they interacted with me in regards to sending my mom some money. And are you sure you want to send it to her? I'm like, yeah, it's my mom. Are you sure? Like, over and over and over. And I'm like, well, at the very end, I'm like, well, I don't know. Maybe I don't. Like, it was just over and over and over and over and over. And anyway, and it's just like the same. This doesn't have anything to do with the DUI, but it's the same. It was the same voice that kept calling, being different people. And one was Sam, which is kind of like a significant name for me. And it was the same name person using that name over and over. Anyways, and then I would get calls for Adam Mack, which is Jason's cousin, to as a reference, and I haven't spoken to him in 15 years, and he would never put me down as a reference or even, and then there was another one with a credit, I can't remember, a credit something, sorry, I'm nervous. Something, it was just really odd. There was no reason for me to be down for anything for this. And then just dealing with the government. So anyways, I can't remember, like I said, I can't remember what was happening right after that or right before that. But I went into I didn't know what I was going to do because I didn't want to just accept the DUI because there was so much more going on in this world that I live in that I'm like, there is some, and because of already believing the Agent J stuff after my Geico was being paid off because I couldn't logically. I wasn't gonna that was the first time that I was like, Karen was like, what's wrong, Brooke? And I just kind of said, I don't want to tell you because you're not going to get it. You're not going to believe me anyway. And I don't know how to really tell you. But, well, you can tell me. And I did. And, and she was good at first, but then, why can it just be angels that did that? And I'm like, well, that doesn't make logical sense. Angels don't just pay off Geico accounts. They just don't. They just don't. And that angels don't do that. So I went in and I just wanted to plead not guilty in hopes to just get an attorney and at least figure it out for my kids, because it's a belief system I've had for a long time anyway. And it's going to be my story whether or not, at this point, I'm thinking it's going to be my story whether or not. So if I end up getting the DUI, but I have a lawyer brain to help me maybe figure it out, then okay, and because I've been trying to tell Jason not about the cop stuff, but about the other. I haven't been trying to tell him now, but I was trying to tell him last year because I didn't understand everything. Anyways, I'm rambling. So I got a public defender, and I can't remember what else happened.
So what is the status of it right now?
Right now, I'm going to trial with it. So I'll get a I'll be a schizophrenic. This is what it is. I'll be a crazy person. I'm also going to prove someone's messing with me. And right now that's this, and I didn't even have these texts from a universal app, which is clearly messing with me. And there's another thread to it that my brother has, because I just barely opened up to them about it on the 1st. And he's like, yeah, someone is definitely engaging with you on. So.
Well, you have an attorney for the.
So hold on. So here's the thing too. I do. I have a public defender. So here's the thing, and I don't need you to be concerned. Well, so here's the next thing. And maybe I shouldn't have talked to you guys about this. Maybe I shouldn't have, because I don't want you guys to focus on the wrong thing because the DUI is a big deal. I could have hurt
Okay.
somebody. It wasn't okay. Like I've been through the shame and guilt of it. That wasn't what the plan was. I
Okay.
didn't
Yeah,
think anybody was. I didn't think anybody was messing with me then. You know,
Okay.
I was very
Yeah,
compliant
no.
and honest and okay.
Yeah, I just was concerned for you. So if that's something that we can help with, great. If not, if it's not a part of what we got here,
Yeah.
that's fine. It's just something you're telling me with it. So
Okay. Well, perfect.
that's the only place where I'm coming from.
Okay. Thank you. However, the other night I got another one. And but this time, yeah. And so, but it solidifies me going to court even more. So, and I'll fight this one too. So I wasn't drinking and driving. I was actually parked, car off. I just was in the driver's seat. I had, I thought I was at the Comfort Inn, just 30 seconds from my house, in Layton, or the trailer. And, but I woke up to knocking on my door, and I had gone to Walmart and got some scissors, and I have a wig because my hair is falling out, and I was going to trim it, and so it was there. So but they scared me. I opened the door, and these men, were right there, and I got scared, and I called the cops several times because there's been a banging on my side of my door, on my trailer, and it doesn't make sense where this banging comes from because I'm in a backyard and they had a cross. Like I've had some really kind of scary. There's that one. There's another one that's had me very scared, and I've called the cops when someone's messing with me. And this was back in this was at the beginning of December. Anyways, that has nothing to do with this, but I when I got in, there's more to it with that, but with what's having me not believe it, like believe what I believe, is what happened in my, okay, let me backtrack. I was very scared, and when I got out, actually I'm just gonna tell you this part. I'm afraid to, but I don't want to be dishonest or seem like I'm being dishonest, but because of I must have raised the scissors. That's what they said. I raised the scissors, and I think I remember, but and I was pulling at the door because I didn't know who was there. I'm like trying to shut it, and they maced me. So they yeah, they maced my eyes, and so I couldn't see. Like I immediately like I freaked out, and I couldn't see, and I didn't know what was going on. And so then they grabbed me out of the car and they handcuffed me, and I'm going, okay, what is going on? And so they kind of dragged me out of there towards the car, and I'm like, hold on, let me just get my bearings, let me just stop because I don't know what's going on. And so I stop, and they let me stop, and I just look around, and I had actually driven where I thought I was going home. I had driven to somebody else's house, and I was in their driveway, the car off, just sitting there, and crazy to me. So I look around, I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, so stop freaking out, this is happening. I'm like, okay, thank you, thank you, I'm fine now. Like I'm not one to like fight with them, but then they had a medic come. I couldn't see, and I got back in the car, or I got in the car. So when they took, when they, I can talk about the car ride, probably another time, doesn't really matter, but I know I did get scared with them. And I was like, I believe you're in my life. I mean, tell me what, I, I just got this, app, and I, the Geico, and like, I was scared. I'm like, nothing makes sense, please. And and then I calmed down. I was like, okay, but I feel like you're helping me. So, okay, whatever. It was very surreal. Anyways, and I was calm, when I went into the jail part, like the booking area, they grabbed my wallet, and then they brought a few things, some contents for me to look at, or from my car. But I would like to send you a picture of these contents that that they brought with them. One was a pop socket. So they brought my wallet. They brought this pop socket that was in my glove box, because I have a phone that doesn't have um, a pop socket, because it's a flip phone. So I had that in my glove box. And then there is this Ziploc-y bag that has polka dots on it, that was in my center console, along with a MasterCard blue folder with a valued member card holder inside. And this is in perfect condition. My car's a wreck right now. This was in my glove box too. Yeah, so those things were in there. And when they brought them to me, I was like, what? And I'm standing in the jail. I'm like, this is weird. Why would you bring these? Why are these the things that you bring me? Um, and I remember saying to the jailer lady, I was like, this doesn't make any sense. It literally doesn't make any sense. And so anyways, I was able to get out, get my car, get all that stuff. And then when I got my car, at the impound lot, I opened my door up, and there's the box of seltzers on the ground, with my weed pipe next to it on the ground. My my title was on the seat, and and my weed bag, though, however, was missing. So I have this cute little, the zipper lined zipper bag that's that I store it so it doesn't stay, it's not smelly. I take that with me everywhere. I have not everywhere, but I make sure I have it with me, and my phone. So my phone was missing. My weed bag was missing. They didn't charge me with marijuana, and these men went through my car. They obviously did, otherwise they wouldn't have given me a pop socket. And this
Right, well, I'll go out with stuff. Okay.
yeah, so it's very odd. So then yeah, but I didn't get charged with marijuana. Yeah, my marijuana bag is gone, nowhere to be found. Nor is my phone. I had to go get a new phone. I had my phone with me because I had emailed and messaged people when I was at the Comfort Inn. I know I didn't get out of my car, that's for sure. because it was locked. And and so that's missing. And so anyways, I'm gonna send you a picture of this. And then I looked at my car, and I've taken video of where these items were located in my car. It doesn't make sense why they would choose these items to put them in my, I mean, I have the declaration page right here of pop socket, 4 MasterCards, 3 Visa, brown boots. Oh, and then when I was leaving, my coat was saturated with, on the bottom with, like it was literally, I sat on it and it got me all wet and the seat all wet. And I had been in there for probably 6 hours. It's very not okay that I believe this, yet I'm not willing to not. I can't, because it doesn't, I can't. So I just, I don't know who else to talk to. And I guess I needed to talk to you guys, because I also believe that it through Park, they're working with Park, who is my job. There's been very interesting things happen because from at home, I need to get into, there are things I need to, I need to get a hold of Agent J, and I don't know how, and I know that's stupid, but there's more to it that
Well,
if the,
your work, we've got a little bit of interaction with them. I mean, Melanie, from all we could tell, was genuinely concerned for your well-being on not showing up for it. So she got us involved and etc. with it just to find out with it there. So that's the only interaction we've ever had with your work, and it seemed genuine. And yeah.
oh, it is for sure. And I'm not saying it was her. I don't even think it's my department.
But there are others.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't think it's my department, although I've had to wonder. But there, I just because of the way there were a bunch of things during that time of getting the job, that of how it fell into my lap the way it did and how it transpired getting it, where that's a whole story in its own, where I knew they were there.
Yeah, well,
and it's very,
yeah.
and,
All I know with it is she was genuine and concerned and put forth an effort above and beyond the call of duty.
And that's who she is.
Have such people there.
And she's amazing. I love working with them. I don't want to ruin what the job I have, and
right.
Yet I, obviously, but there is, and I believe it's with their Ability One program, which is a different program, and I went. That's its own thing, but
right.
I do want to send you a picture of this because it doesn't make sense to me. And so, like, I was already going to go to, like, with the first DUI, the party line was actually before even, I'm being forced to kind of prove this. I've believed it for a while, and now this whole Agent J thread, especially like that Agent J thread, it and then now with these contents of what they decided to, if they decided to leave my pipe there and take my bag and my phone, and not try, nothing makes sense. Like they literally pepper sprayed me. You know what I mean? They said I was a big deal. Everybody was there. Your car goes through, like it gets gone through. They would have, of course, nailed me with that. Of course they would have. Of course they would have. That's why, I mean, am I wrong? Do you think I'm wrong?
No, I mean, but there should be video of the whole thing with it there.
And you're right, and I'm going to request it.
Yeah, request that so you can see.
Yeah, I
mean,
will.
Depending on, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna request it. I'm gonna forward this. I'm gonna forward it to my public defender, and
Now, who is that? Because unfortunately, I know several of them.
do you? I'm sure you do. um,
They turn over all the time.
um, his name is Vince Stevens.
Okay. Doesn't sound familiar, but
Okay.
the Vince part did, but Stevens doesn't. So I don't think he's somebody that I've got any relationship with. So
Okay.
Michelle and Gallegos, and I don't remember the one that Biz had. It was a female home. And for the most part, I've been impressed with the public defenders there.
Good. All right, there's the picture of what they put in my thing. I guess I should have let Kim here. I'm sorry, it wasn't anything about her. I don't know. Maybe it was just a one-on-one thing. I just needed a one-on-one, maybe. I don't know.
Right. Well, sometimes you just gotta go with your gut on what's going on. Okay, we just got here. So I'm gonna put Kim back on here and look at this. So hang on just a second. All right. Let me, if I can look at it without hanging up on here.
Okay. Looks like it's sideways.
We're getting low battery. We accidentally hang up on you. Apologize. Okay.
And I recreated I took the seltzer box out of my car, but I recreated how it looked because my stuff was just I haven't really moved.
Okay, so the first thing's the MasterCard thing there. So was there an actual card in that box, or
Yeah, there is.
is there a name on the card?
No, it just says here. Let me take a picture. It's just a generic one.
Okay. Okay, there's the scissors. Right, okay, there's the card.
Just of all the contents, I mean, they'd have to go into my glove box to get this pop socket that I know I recently just put in there.
Right.
This bag was in my center console, and it was a mess. It's a mess in there too, and so like they'd have it just doesn't make any sense. And then this card.
Well, what they've got to show is probable cause to be able to do a search, to be able to do that. So,
which they already had because I was already right. I was in somebody else's driveway.
well,
So like, why would they take a picture of that? Why would they hold these contents?
Yeah.
You know, after I got the text from Agent J, that was my third visit with the state president. And he's like, yeah, with that, I mean, and I've been telling him things. I mean, he can't mix church and state. He already
When did you get something from Agent J?
On Christmas. Well, the Universal app, the agent thing. and you guys haven't seen the next part of it because, oh, this is what flipped me out too, is because when a person texted me from that number again and said, who is this? Or I can't remember. My brother has it, but it said, I just got this phone. And I said, you just got this phone, but you texted me earlier today. And this was the day after Christmas. And it said, I got this is a new phone. This is my new phone. I got it. I said, since when? Or not since when? I can't remember. I'm very logical, actually. And I think Brady said I was. And what?
Sorry, we're looking for the charger so we don't accidentally hang up on you.
Oh, okay.
And mess with you and get like, wait, how could they cut off this call from me? So
yeah, right now this isn't a good. It says I got this phone. I got this phone as a Christmas gift from my friend Jarrett last night at a Christmas party. And I'm like, okay.
That was
That was the next day. And again, I'll send that to you. And I asked for Brady. I asked it from Brady before I called you, but I haven't heard back. And he said because I sent it right over to him, because this was because I had because I re-engaged with it that next day, so it was actually the second. And I believe, but I'm like, well, that doesn't make any sense because I got a message from this number. So anyways, I can't remember my argument with him, but I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Why did you have this number? Someone from this number texted me. And you're saying, I said on Sunday, and you're saying you got this number, you got this phone on Sunday, so that you'd have to change the number, or I don't know. I'm just I was like so confused, going, no, this isn't. And then you're gonna say you got it from Jarrett, your friend Jarrett, and I said, can I speak with him? I would like to speak with him. Anyway, when I get it, I'll send it over. But and Brady's like, yes, they're engaging with you for a reason, and this is so weird. And I was like, yeah, I can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore. And so anyways, I already was going to fight this, and I'm going to still, because for my bag to be missing, for that pipe to be there, for these contents to be here, for everything I've like I told Paul and Karen, because I got the DUI in their car because mine was in the shop. And so, and when we all talked about it, I said, I'm done. I'm ready for, like, I don't want to do this. I'm ready to, because I had signed, I had signed for his signature to get it out of impound, because I was going to clients the next day. Like I had to get, and they were out of town. Were they out of town? Yes, they were out of town. No. She was out of town. He was there. So anyways, when she got back, I said, I need to talk to you guys when you get back, Karen. And she came back on just a few days later, and we sat down, and I completely said, Paul, I forged your signature. This is what happened, and And at that point, I even said to them, I'm like, I'm ready just to take the, like, go turn myself in for, because he's like, if he would have called me, I would have done it for, I would said, forge it. I'm like, I'm sorry. It was a good, but it was a hard conversation. They're beautiful people. I really love them. And Paul and I, we built a good friendship. We built a great friendship. We went and did yoga together sometimes, and not that we hung out really, but like, we'd have good conversations. People, but I was still struggling with this as well, not understanding it all, even back when I lived there, with everything. um, so anyways, yikes, that was hard. But
Hopefully,
yeah.
you just need to say it, verbalize somebody is been a little bit helpful to you.
It's been very, very helpful, because you guys were scary to talk to, not because of you. Well, I don't want to disappoint anybody either. I don't want this. I don't want to have these things.
Well,
And so, but yet there's so much more to it I've got to understand. I really do. Actually, I got to be able to articulate it in a way to put it all together so that I can build a timeline, because that's what I'm going to do, because something's going on. And I really feel like, I mean, I was scared. Yesterday I was terrified. I was shaking. Just the guy I'm dating, Kyle, I've been off and on with him for a while. He came and I was just shaking and terrified. And I mean, he's like, well, I just told him I don't understand what's going on, and he doesn't know what's going on. I haven't really told him what I feel and think. A year ago I did, because I'm like, something's going on, and I feel like they're undercover agents, and I don't know who to trust and who not to trust. So, but that was just kind of fleeting, and then we never really talked about it again, because I was willing for it to just be my own thing in my head, that it was just me making it up so I'd feel safe. And I was willing for that to be the party line. But I can't, even if I hadn't gotten these DUIs, that still would have been my story. That's still what it was. So, I mean, I know it's, yeah, but if they looked into everything, oh, go ahead. Do you say we have a question?
You're cutting out.
Oh, you can't hear me? What about now?
Oh, yeah, I just had, did they charge you with anything besides the DUI?
No. Well, they might have charged me with something else, but not with,
Correct.
can you hear me? Hello?